Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Linia Lenjo, and on this channel I create videos all about faith and godly living. If you're new here, thank you for watching this video. Please, if you like anything you see, remember to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss anything from me, and the notification bell so that every time I post you'll be like, oh, she posted, let me go check out what she's up to, So thank you for all of you who have subscribed to my channel. And yeah, so from the look of things, you probably noticed this shirt from a previous video, and that is because this is the continuation of the home versus abroad, Christianity home versus abroad video. So I still have on the same shirt, but let's get right into the video. Let's get going. So today I'm going to be talking about 4 things that I think you will notice about Christianity here that I will say is quote unquote bad. I don't want to paint a bad picture in any way about the church abroad, but these are just some of those things that I wish that we paid more attention to in this country. Now, I will say this disclaimer again. I'm not saying that every church in America does these things or anything like that. There are some excellent churches, power-filled and everything, what the church should be. But what I'm saying is that these are certain trends you find that I wish that we were able to take care of and not just allow things like this to be happening in the church. So yeah, that's what we are talking about. So the first thing I wrote down is modesty. Back home, modesty is a must to go to the church. Again, I'm not saying that some people like don't pay attention to that, but you could definitely look and be like, okay, these churches, people dress, cover themselves all the way down and everything, but the way I feel that modesty is approached in the church, especially churches abroad, I'm sorry to say it's very, very different. Not personally, like in my church, I've not really had that issue to that extent. I know sometimes people will be people, but modesty can be a very, very big issue with Christianity here. Whether it may not even necessarily be wearing something short, maybe you're wearing something too tight, or stuff like that. And the culture here already, they take exposing themselves, sometimes it seems like, oh, it's normal and all of that. And if you begin to think that, oh, that is what is normal, eventually it can affect even consciously or unconsciously how you also present yourself. So the one thing that I'll definitely say is that I wish that modesty, they were it was more serious. You don't want to go about telling people you have to dress a certain way, but you just wish that people had that consciousness. If I'm going to say I'm a Christian and then I walk around wearing shorts and I walk around, obviously people would never believe that, from first impression, they will never really believe that, oh, so you are a Christian. It's quite questionable, but that's something that I feel like some people assume that you should not judge me about my Christianity because of how I look and things like that. It really is something. It really, really is something. So modesty is something that the church here abroad needs to take more seriously. I mean, more seriously. So the second thing is, pastors and leaders, the liberty to really speak their mind. I know that certain pastors can take things to the extreme back home because people trust them, because people believe them and listen to them and stuff. But here, sometimes it seems like it's almost the opposite. It's like you don't even know how to speak to to certain church members about things like modesty, like I mentioned. You don't even know how to have that rigid stand about, like, please dress the right way, do this or do that, because it's like, people can be like, oh, I don't have to go to this church anyway, I don't have to do it like this, I'm in America now, I can do whatever I want. I'm not speaking for everybody, please, but I'm just kind of giving you guys an idea, like of what I think about this whole situation. So I don't feel like, pastors here necessarily have that same, are regarded in that same way. If anything, it seems like it's not as serious as back home. Like back home, people can do a lot for their pastors and leaders, and people do things here, but it just feels like totally different. It still feels different because I feel like there are certain things that a pastor might be able to say here, even if it is in the name of righteousness, they might really, really get hit for that, So that's one thing that I've definitely noticed. Like pastors here have to be a bit more careful with their words, a bit more careful about how they preach the gospel because you don't want to get anybody irritated. And believe me, that's not how pastors should feel. Any genuine man of God will definitely not be ashamed or afraid to tell the truth. But I'm just saying that you can always you should expect a certain response if you're going to stand and be bold, for Christ in that manner. So yeah, that's number 2. Let's get going. So the third thing I'm going to talk about is time. Ooh, if there's anything I can talk about in this video from now to tomorrow, is this subject, time. Like, time here flies. Like, time in America, like 24 hours back home, the way time flies back home versus here, 24 hours, at least growing up, that's how it felt for me. 24 hours back home is the equivalent of 2 days here, like 48 hours here. Like that's what I mean by time just go. Like everything is to the teeth. Like everything is to the teeth with time here. If you don't make time for God, if you don't sit down and say, God, I'm going to make time to pray, I'm going to make time, you will spend your time doing everything that America wants you to do and no time in the presence of God. I mean, I cannot stress this. Leave a comment down below if you understand what I'm saying. So, those of you who are my US, UK, abroad people, leave a comment down below. Time here flies because of responsibility. People that come here have to take care of themselves, maybe take care of families back home, or even during your free time. If you are not working, you are going around, maybe shopping for, yes. So like I was saying, if you are not shopping, if you're not going to work, and you're not shopping, on that day, you're not trying to shop for your family, for food items and stuff like that, you're probably out in the mall. You're probably out in the mall trying to shop, and just take that day off and rest and recuperate, So yeah, America comes with a lot of responsibility. Don't get me wrong, back home people do have responsibilities, but the way that life is programmed here, it really, really challenges people to really, unless you are serious, it can really be a challenge that you should look at God. So that's what I will say. Yeah, so finally, the fourth thing I will say is distractions, and it has to do with this time issue as well. Distractions. America is all about money. Time is money. You have to, if you're not making money, you are losing money. Like, that's the mindset here. It's money, work, competition. Everybody is trying to be the best. Everybody is trying to be on top. Everybody is trying to get that opportunity. Everybody is trying to build a house or get this and that. So these things can end up being distractions, honestly. So you have to prioritize God if you're going to really, really grow in your faith. You have to prioritize God. And a scripture that comes to mind when I talk about all of this is the fact that the scripture that says godliness with contentment is great gain. If you don't learn to realize that this is what God has given to you in this country, you will never be satisfied. In America, you will never be satisfied. I'm not saying don't work hard and don't strive for better, but if you don't prioritize God, you will always be looking for this next best thing, because America, there is always a next best thing. There is always a next best thing. You can never feel like, oh, you have gotten to the top and it's done. There is always something happening, something new and stuff. So yeah, that is the fourth thing that I will say about this subject. Yeah, these are four of the things that, some of those things that I believe that the church need to pay attention to abroad, that's quite different from back home. I feel like people back home are willing to take days of fasting. I mean, out of work, maybe even, leaving their families and stuff to go and commit themselves to seeking the face of God. But here it can be quite different. Really, it can be really quite different. So yeah, those are some of the things that I have to say about that. Let me know what you guys think about this video, and leave a comment down below. Any other thing I haven't mentioned, let me hear your comments down below, what your experience is. Thank you all for watching. Please remember to subscribe if you haven't yet. We are trying to grow a community of faith, love, oneness, wonders, power, and everything good. So thank you all again for watching, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.